Jesse Allen here for the American Ag Network, and today we are talking with Jay Debertin with CHS. Jay, it's great to have you back on. How are you, sir?
Happy to be with you, Jesse. I'm great. Happy New Year to you and everybody listening.
Yeah, we appreciate you making some time to join us. Jay is the president and CEO of CHS Incorporated, and we are talking about the quarter 1 financials for CHS and more record first quarter earnings. Jay, a lot of great stuff to talk about. Maybe just go through some of the highlights that you saw with the quarter 1 financials.
Happy to, Jesse. You're right. We did have a really strong first quarter. We announced earnings of 452 million, which is a record for CHS. And I'd really point to two areas, Jesse, that contributed the most to it. One was we saw a nice turnaround within our energy segment, and as you recall from our discussions we had last year, with the early impacts a year ago from the pandemic on global energy demands, we just saw really weak global demands while our own demands were pretty strong. We do operate in a global environment, and so we do get that impact. And this year, on this quarter, we just saw much better energy demands from around the world as people started to return to normal kind of conditions. And so we saw a nice turnaround in our energy segment. And then secondly, I'd point to our ag segment, which includes our global grain marketing, our retail platform, our processing area, and a few others, including our fertilizer wholesale side. And that really just continued to have a strong performance. Exports and trade of grain and grain commodities were really strong, as we've seen last year and continuing. But probably the biggest change year on year, Jesse, would be in the fertilizer side. And you and your listeners know some of the things going on in the fertilizer markets and some of the extreme volatility. And it's translated to strong profitability at CHS. Now, we also are quick to remember the impacts that has on farmers and producers, but the benefit of being a cooperative and benefit of CHS and doing business with CHS is if for the people that do buy from us, if there are financial returns within that segment of fertilizer, we do return those profits back to the people who buy from us.
Well, and Jay, we think about the different supply chain challenges and things of that nature surrounding agriculture right now. What are your thoughts as we look at these numbers and also head into 2022 here in full about some of the challenges we're facing in agriculture right now?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jesse. I think specifically to your question around the supply chain, we definitely have the impacts that we feel. And I'd probably point to crop protection products really as an area that feels it the most, as we import many of those raw materials that go into compound a crop protection product and just limitations on getting those products. Now at CHS, we've put more inventory in earlier than we ever have. We feel really good about our inventory positions going into this next spring for crop protection products, but it is a challenging space. On the other hand, the grain movements across agriculture in the United States really have gone quite smoothly. We have not been impacted the same way other industries have around imports of critical raw materials. In the grain side, we've really seen nice movement, exporting and nice efficiency at our port facilities, which has translated into good performance. So really seen pretty good impact on our grain side. But just stepping back from it, to your point, Jesse, we really see that agriculture is in a nice window here. Yes, some costs for raw materials and inputs are coming up around higher commodity prices, but for those of us that have been in this business a while, we've seen that before. But we just had our annual meeting in December for CHS, and we were really, really happy to see the strong spirit within agriculture right now. Just a really optimistic tone to all the producers that were in for our annual meeting.
Well, I know, Jay, you mentioned some of the strong earnings for the ag segment and some of the agronomy side of things and energy, et cetera. What are some areas here in 2022 that you're looking to maybe build upon as CHS, works through the year?
Yes. So a couple I'd point to right away, Jesse, is the processing business for CHS and for other people in processing is just um, really doing well right now, largely driven by some new factors. Renewable diesel is driving demand for soybean oil, which is driving demand for soybean crush and soybeans. And we're really seeing strong performance within that area, and I think that's going to be an area we will continue to invest in going forward. Secondly, is we just see that the world's appetite for products that the U.S. farmer produces will continue to be strong, and so we're investing in export capabilities, speed and space, our ability to move that product quickly to market and efficiently to market. So we'll be investing strongly in there. And then third, I just point to technology. We think that going forward, the use of technology, the use of information to help us be a better company, a better supplier, somebody that people want to do business with, is just going to be really, really critical. And so we're investing in technology to allow us to operate more efficiently.
Well, Jay, great stuff as always. Any final thoughts you have for us? Anything else that you want to mention here today?
No, Jesse, I just, like I say, I think those of us in agriculture, we've had, a couple of poor years, looking back in over the last five, and I think we're just into an environment where the outlook for agriculture is strong. Not that it's ever going to be easy. That's not the business we're in, but I think it looks strong, and I think we just have the capabilities for the U.S. farmer to do well.
Well, I know folks can learn more about all the different areas that CHS has across the country. It takes part in chsinc.com is a way to look online and contact your local CHS representatives. And Jay, I appreciate the time. Thank you for joining us here once again and going through some things with us about the latest with CHS. And I hope we get to talk again soon.
We will, Jesse. Thank you.